Hello and welcome to Community Connection. I'm your host, Tracey Christensen. There's a new museum in Utah that tells a fascinating yet tragic story of American history. Many residents of our state may not be aware that thousands of Americans of Japanese descent were unjustly imprisoned during World War II. Jane Beckwith from the Topaz Museum in Delta joins me today to share some unique insights into this important aspect of our history here in Utah. Thanks for being with us, Jane.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
Sorry.
Well, the Topaz Museum, tell us about it and why it started.
Well, we've been working on getting a museum for a very long time, since about 1982. So we're a volunteer board that just decided that there was a need because very few people knew the history of Topaz. Plus, the site is about 16 miles from Delta, and it's still very rich in its archaeological kind of richness,
Yeah.
I guess. And so we just started making a museum, and now we are ready to have visitors, and we're very excited about the reception that we've had so far. So we're looking forward to it.
It's kind of a sad story.
Yes.
So
Yes.
why should I want to go, and what should I expect to see?
Well, I don't think the exhibits are exactly sad, but of course what happened to the people losing their livelihood in the California area, families splitting up,
That was sad.
People losing their constitutional rights, that was very sad.
And so let's talk about that. Why were these American citizens of Japanese descent, why were they sent to the Topaz camp?
Well, I think you can answer that in just a few words. First of all, the prejudice that happened toward Japanese Americans, even prior to the war, was really, it was a very difficult time for people of Japanese ancestry. And Chinese. I mean, prejudice is not just a one niche kind of market. In 1984, there was a wartime commission, and they said that the three reasons included prejudice and war hysteria and failure of administrative leadership. And I would say that's very succinctly
That's
what
accurate.
happened. Yeah.
So when they went to Topaz, what was their life like there? And I imagine we can learn a lot about that at the museum.
Exactly. Well, our Topaz had a very rich artistic kind of background because the people who came to Topaz were from the Bay Area. So they were merchants, they were people who were very well educated, and people who were artistic. And so we have a very large art show. Right now we have about 100 pieces of art that's in our collection that was done out at Topaz. So looking at the history of Topaz through art is kind of an unusual way to look at history.
Yes.
We also have half of a recreation hall that was used as the Boy Scout meeting hall at Topaz. And so you can go in that and see the paint on the floor where possibly a Boy Scout might have dropped a can of paint.
It's been known to happen.
Yes, it's possible. And so just the artifacts that we have, plus all of the personal stories, the stories of the people the men who volunteered and fought for the United States, despite the fact that their family was in camps like this. It's a very compelling kind of story.
It's important. It's an important story for us to know.
Yes.
How many people were interred there?
Well, in Topaz, at any one time about 8,300, but 11,000 came through the camp on a rotating kind of basis. So
Wow.
11,000.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Delta's population was 1,500. So that is, again, a very interesting kind of balance.
Tell us your website where we can find out more information.
Our website is topazmuseum.org, and we have a Facebook page, and so
we can search you out and come and see that important piece of history.
That's right.
Thanks for being with us, Jane,
All right.
telling us about the museum. Our goal here at 11 is to keep you, our viewers, informed about interesting sites to see around the state of Utah. To learn more about the Topaz Museum, you can visit their site or KBYU11.org and click on the Community tab. Thanks for being with us. Please join us again on Community Connection.